Hey guys, what's up? So, I hope you're having a good day today and all that jazz. Basically, what's going on today is I'm not shedding on the keys right now. I'm shedding a tentative plan. I'm shedding a plan because you know what? Planning is part of shedding. Shedding means practicing, right? Planning is part of practicing, I'd say. And that's what I'm going to do today. I stole this concept of how I plan this from this channel. I was watching a channel. I think the guy's name was like Kiefer or something like that. It was just some guy who plays like some jazz piano, but also some like hip hop kind of beats type stuff. And but he had a cool thing where he was saying that he makes a 10-year plan, then breaks it down to 5 years, then breaks it down to 1 year, breaks it down to the months, and then breaks it down to the weeks. And when you say it out loud, that sounds like the most intuitive, obvious thing, obvious way to plan out anything. Um, but I didn't think of that until I saw that video, basically. So I didn't really think of it. I'm just stealing it from him, but it's a good idea. And so I'm just gonna follow through on that one. So we got the lofty goal already. This was set on day one. Play at Emmett's place. Emmett's place. That's the goal. Okay, 2034. Play Emmett's place. Then by 2029, I need to already be a professional jazz player. Okay, by 2029, if I want to be at Emmett's place at 2034, in 5 years from now, I already need to be having a solid. I need to start being like a pro and getting like real pro experience, or I need to already be there. Like basically, I need to have. I could basically need to be at a point by 2029 where I can confidently say I am like a jazz player. I am a pro jazz player, and I play in this group or that or whatever. And so I was thinking. From there, I thought, okay, if I want to be a member of a jazz group, of a jazz trio, quartet, whatnot. What does a jazz pianist usually do in most of his time? Okay, most of his time playing is spent accompanying the rest of the group, just providing rhythmic and harmonic support, and that's really it. Okay, sure they get the solo, but sometimes they don't even get the solo, so that's not even true. But soloing is like so small of a task relative to what the majority of the time is spent, which is on just accompanying. Just yeah, that's all they're doing. Comping is most of the time spent as a pianist. So now we got to break down the year into months. Okay, I'm not gonna go all the way to the freaking second month. I don't have the telepathic eye to view it that way. And also, since this is like just the start of the plan, there's a tentative plan. I didn't even want to break down the year into like general like quarters or anything like that. I thought about it, maybe breaking it down like first 3 months, second 3 months, third 3 months, fourth 3 months, and then breaking it down month by month or something like that. I thought about breaking it down like that, but then I decided not to. Because first, in this first month, I want to get a feel for basically what's my pace, what's my learning pace, how much can I really practice, and how much can I really how much quality can I crank out here um, out of some sort of practice routine that I plan. And so, first month, I'm just gonna speed run through real book tunes. I'm just gonna use the real book. Um, Real book haters can screw off. I don't have the time nor the care to actually try to learn a song by ear alone. I will learn licks from the ear for phrasing and fingering purposes, things like that. Sure, like almost as like a technical rhythmic exercise. I'll transcribe licks that I like from these records. Like I'll listen to Bill Evans playing Autumn Leaves, and he plays some sort of thing. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. I want to play it just like that. Then I'll break that down and I'll try to learn that one phrase. But my ear is not good enough for it to be a valuable use of my time to try to learn a whole song or even a whole solo by ear. Because I understand the concept out there that transcribing is a form of ear training, but I think it's also like lifting weights, like progressive overload. If I were to try to go into the gym and I were to try to squat 500 pounds day one, um, I wouldn't be growing muscle. I would just die. And so the analogy here is if I were to try to transcribe a whole Bill Evans solo day one, it's not really day one. I'm not like a complete beginner, but my ear is not the greatest. It's not very developed at all. If I were to try to freaking transcribe a whole entire Bill Evans solo, then my motivation will just die. My time will evaporate in front of me. Okay, it's too much of a load. It's too much of a weight to bear. Okay, the difficulty is too high, and so when I build up the skill level, when my ear training gets to a certain point where I can transcribe a solo and be challenged by a solo, but still, it's not like an overwhelming challenge. It's like a doable challenge. Then I'll do that. But right now, learning a whole entire song by ear or a solo by ear or anything like that is just a waste of time. It's just fatiguing. It's literally like the weightlifting situation. It would just fatigue the crap out of me. I wouldn't recover, and then I'm gonna be out for like a whole 2 weeks. I'm not gonna practice because motivation is gonna be at all time low. I'm gonna be like, I'll never be Bill Evans, right? And then eventually I'll come back because I really love this and I want to play jazz. But like shit, man, like it's not worth it. So real book it is, okay? Real book it is. That's the plan. I'm gonna learn these tunes by the real book, and we'll see just how good of a route that is to learning tunes. The goal is to learn 52 tunes in this 1 year from last month of 2023, December 2023, all the way to 2025. So a year and a month as buffer, an extra month as buffer. And 2024 is a leap year, so that's nice. We got an extra day too somewhere in there. So we're trying to rush this. We're trying to rush the tune learning process because another thing that I was thinking is just like I need to know a lot of tunes. If I want to play with other people, I just need to know tunes. I just want to rush that. I just want to get that process like done ASAP. Maybe that's not the best approach. We'll find out. If I feel that I'm not really learning, then I'm just really just rushing it. Then I'll slow down the pace and I'll manage expectations. I'll say, okay, this is 52 tunes in the year was unreasonable. It was like that was a crazy idea. Insane. Let's just settle for like 30 tunes or something, which would still be, I'm sure, a lot. But we'll see. I'm going to try to go for 52 tunes. We'll see what happens. I mean, just from the real book alone, I can read sheet music. I can practice, memorize these tunes. And these tunes, none of them look technically difficult. So I have faith. I have faith that I can learn 52 tunes in a year. And so I'm going to do a 2-5-1 exercise just for getting that chord progression in my mind. Just 2-5-1 around the circle of fifths. It's just going to be an exercise I took from this video from the YouTube channel Piano Lesson with Warren. Yeah, I'm gonna learn a couple licks over a 2-5-1 chord progression. This is just to cover my fundamentals, right? So the 2-5-1 stuff is just to cover my fundamentals because I just figured it's just the chord progression that's used most often. And if I'm gonna spend so little time actually playing over tunes and transcribing and all that, then I should go for a more generalized fundamental approach in terms of like knowing stuff to like play over certain progressions and whatnot, certain changes. And 2-5-1 is the most common set of changes you'll see in a song. So I just figured, I'll just learn a couple licks for 2-5 over a 2-5-1 and just get my hands comfortable playing 2-5-1 patterns, just over and over again. I also need to practice basic, just like rhythmic comping patterns. I'm gonna practice it with metronome. I love Jeremy Siskin's channel. So good, so much good content from Jeremy Siskin, bro. So much good content. And he has one video where he kind of just compiles like a bunch of comping patterns. It's actually I named kind of the goal of the year after that video. It's like a video that's titled like how to be precise at comping and have variety in comping. And I just thought like that's what I need. I need to be precise. I want my playing to have a certain clarity to it where you hear my playing and you know it's being played by a guy who studies, by a guy who wants an exact sound. Okay? That's what I want my playing to represent. That's what I want to come off of my playing. So I'm going to do that. And so, yeah, so for this first week, this upcoming week, I'm just going to literally routine every day. It's going to be, I'll open up with just a normal like chromatic scale warm up, which is something I took from Open Studio. They say to warm up with the chromatic scale. So I'll start with that. And then I'll move on to just pulling up the fake sheet, the lead sheet of Autumn Leaves, um, reading through it, just playing Autumn Leaves, getting that in my fingers, memorizing that literally like as fast as I can, um, just playing it over and over again. Then I'll practice like a simple rhythmic pattern for the very first week. I'll just focus on the Charleston with the metronome. Charleston, I think, goes like da 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 da, right? Something like that. I hope that's how the Charleston goes. Or else I sound like an idiot. Yeah, 251. And I'll do the 251 exercise, just move my fingers around, just to do 251s around the circle of fifths. And then I'll do, I'll learn one lick. I'll just take a lick. I saw a video. I could try to actually transcribe licks from songs and stuff. But just to start off, just to get the wheels rolling, I think I'm just gonna take licks from this video, another Jeremy Siskin video where he has like a couple 251 licks, like three. I'm just gonna learn those three this month. Yeah, the video was like really titled like in a clickbaity kind of way because it said it will help my fingering and stuff. So I hope to kill two birds with one stone with that one. So yeah, so I'll do those licks and I'll focus on lick number one, whatever was the first lick that he presented in that video. I'll focus on that one for this first week. So yeah, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a plan where we're going to cover all of our bases. We're going to cover our technique through just playing, just general like warm up stuff through playing. I'll transcribe a couple phrases. I didn't write to transcribe phrases here, except for maybe when it says learn 4 2 5 1 licks, and I write +1 from a record I like. But I'll go ahead and out of my way to transcribe like a lick, transcribe just a single bar, each week from the records I'll be listening to. I'll be listening to like Bill Evans, Miles Davis, Dexter Gordon, Duke Ellington, playing these standards I'm going to be learning. I'll transcribe like a single bar at least, bare minimum, a single bar. So just 4 beats, right? Each week from these guys, just to get some general like phrasing and language, more language in my thing. Besides just the 3 licks from Jeremy Siskin, the 3 2 5 1 licks, right? Um, and so we're covering all our bases. We got technique in the chromatic. We got some technique. Honestly, I feel like transcription at my level is more of a technique exercise than a ear training exercise. So transcription kind of covers technique as well. The 2 5 1 licks should cover some technique. Um, Comping patterns will help with like rhythm ideas and whatnot. And the 2 5 1 exercise and every key will help with me just getting my fingers familiar with a certain chord progression concept, which is literally the 2 5 1, right? We're learning tunes. So we got everything kind of covered. We have some technique covered. We got some certain concepts covered, from like a rhythm and harmonic standpoint a little bit. We have tunes, and we are going to have some element of transcription, albeit a very basic element of transcription. And so that's the plan that we're going to go with in this first week, starting from Monday, December 4th, 2023, to the next Monday. We're going to start implementing this plan. We're going to go through this. And so if all goes well, if all goes as planned, by the end of this month, I'm going to have a really nice, I don't want to say mastery, because mastery is a strong word, but I'm going to have a really good understanding of at least these 3 comping patterns right here. And the other one's listed in a Jeremy Siskin video where he talks about comping patterns. He has like 6 comping patterns listed. So there's a bunch of other ones, but this first 3 at least, right? And just some random 4th one for the 4th week. Combined with 2 5 1 licks. Yeah, by the end of this month, I should know 4 bars to transcribe total from maybe one song, or 4 bars from one song, or 1 bar each from a completely different tune. I should have 4 tunes learned. I should be able to play 2 5 1 across the circle of fifths pretty decently. I mean, I'll be practicing the same exercise every day. I mean, after 30 days of doing the same 2 5 1 exercise, I should have that down. and I'm gonna have learned 4 2 5 1 licks combined with the 4 other licks that I will basically have learned from my transcriptions. So that should be 8 licks total, really. 8 licks total. 8 licks, 4 comping patterns rhythmically. Be able to have the 2 5 1 pattern like in my fingers, like in my muscle memory, and 4 tunes by the end of this month. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. So that's what we're aiming for. All right. Time to work.